We went to hundreds of our students and our entire internal team, and we had them test 100 AI tools. These are the best ones. AI is everywhere, and yes, it has infiltrated music. There is no putting it back in the box. So we have to learn how to live with it. And honestly, there's some really cool stuff that you can do. This is not the video where I discuss the ethics, the morality, or the future of AI. I already made that video, and I'll have that video pop up somewhere, and you can watch that after this. This video is just a breakdown of some of our favorite AI tools that can help your music, your career, your marketing. And I'm very happy to say that none of them are going to replace you. But some of them will actually make your career easier. So all in all, that's a good thing. So here's what we did. We tested these tools. We looked at music ones. We looked at marketing ones. So we wanted to give you a good mix of both sides. So some of these are going to help you in the music production process, maybe with some inspiration. Some of these might help you with some of the marketing, content, the social media side of things. Because at Cosmic Academy, we believe that you need both of those things, the music and the brand, to be successful. So let's dive in. First, if you don't know, I'm Justin, and I run Cosmic Academy. It's an artist development school. We've been around for over 10 years, and we've worked with over 700 incredible artists and producers, and they get incredible results. They sign to the biggest labels like Toolroom, Anjuna, Armada, Spinnin. They play the biggest shows. They play in Ultra, they play in Ibiza, they toured the world. We said 3 students play EDC, and a lot of their results come from working smart, working smarter, not harder, working, a little bit better than they used to. And some of that means using tools at their disposal. So AI, we currently look at like a tool. So let's dive into some of these AI tools that can hopefully help you with your process. Let's start with the music one. So I think you say this Mubert, and this is a music making tool. I've been messing around with Mubert now for a few days, and it has some very cool features. It has a very similar text to music function where you can type in what kind of song you want, and it does its best. It also has a function where you can select the genres and certain keywords and kind of put something together for you in a song. And there's other AIs that we'll talk about that can do something similar. But the main function of Mubert that is interesting to me is their beta function of reference tracks. So I started messing around with this, and it seems like it's very early in the beta. They're just starting out with this. So I added a Fisher song to the reference prompt, and it came back with 20 different variations. Now, to be honest with you, none of their variations sounded like the Fisher song, but there were hints in certain aspects I could say were similar in small ways, but I think it's just at the very early stages. I think what they're trying to get to is, yes, put in a reference track and show me 20 different varieties of that or 20 different variations. And again, we could be years away from that. I don't know, but even just looking at the possibility of it is very intriguing. And the word that I keep using that I'm gonna use a lot in this video is inspiration. It's really good for inspiration, where if you want to put in a song that you like, you hear some other stuff, you're like, wow, that's gonna inspire me. Maybe I've got an idea now because of the drums I just heard. Let's jump to the next one. Before I do, you just smash that like button. I have no idea what it does. I think it helps baby elephants. Baby elephants are actually called pachyderms. I learned that when I was in 2nd grade. And pachyderms, so they need all the love they can get. We got to help the pachyderms. Smash that like button. Let's help some baby elephants. All right, let's do another music one. So there's Soundraw, or maybe it's called Soundraw, I'm not sure, but this is another music making AI tool. Soundraw will also help you make custom songs, but the customizability of it is not as far. It also looks a lot less like the Chat GPT versions of these AI. So if you don't like Chat GPT and you hate that kind of prompt thing that you have to use for that, then maybe this is more for you, where you can select genre and mood and tempo and some of these different settings, and it'll spit out, dozens of different tracks for you. What's cool here is you can go into those tracks, and if you turn on this little pro switch up here, it'll let you add things, remove things, increase different effects that you've added. This is a very beginner version of some of the other music AI. There's not too much you can do with this to screw it up. There's not too much you can do with this. It's kind of got training wheels on. So if you're just getting your feet wet with AI, and again, you're looking for some inspiration, it's a great place to start. Now, I've mentioned Chat GPT. And ChatGPT, if you don't know, this is like the main AI, like the king of the AI tools. I don't want to dedicate like any time to ChatGPT. There's plenty of videos that do, but realize that a lot of these AI tools are based on ChatGPT. And ChatGPT itself is an amazing tool for you. And many of my students use it where they'll just type in, I need a melody and I'm trying to use these chords, or maybe they have questions about those chords and about music theory, and ChatGPT will give them those answers. The biggest issue with ChatGPT is that it's just text. It can't do anything giving you a song. It can't do things making a video or an image yet. So that's why a lot of these other AI tools build upon that. Let's jump to a marketing one. I think you call this Kaiber or Kaiber, K-A-I-B-E-R. This is a picture to video or video to video application. It's pretty cool, but also kind of basic in its functionality. You give it something to start with, like a picture. Then you give it some keywords, some functionality that you want. You tell it what style you want it in, maybe some effects to add. And within a few moments, you will have a pretty cool video design. You can't do much with like super long videos here, so I would suggest the shorter the better. And from what I've read, this is in its very early stages, so it's not very robust yet. And by the way, when it comes to these like text to video applications, there's a few that currently exist, and I know that they're getting better. But what I've heard is that Google is coming up with their own text to video, text to image application. And from what I've seen, it's going to be incredible. And for you, for music producers, for artists, for DJs, that has huge implications for you, right? You know, we need cover art made, we need teaser trailers and music videos and content for our social media. You know, with these types of applications, it'll make your life way easier with all that stuff. Here's something fun and different, a little bonus one that doesn't perfectly fall into marketing or music. This is Meme Cam. You take a picture, you put it into this AI, and it'll turn it into a meme. And at first I was like, there's no way that these memes are going to be funny, right? It can't really figure out what the picture is, but I did it with one of my pictures, one of these dumb pictures that we use for the thumbnails on YouTube, and it's pretty funny. Now look, it doesn't do anything revolutionary, right? The most you can do is add a picture and it comes up with the meme, but it could give you some ideas for content, for social media, for Instagram. Like the one that I gave it, it's just a silly picture. It's just me looking kind of upset, and I have no idea how it figured out my facial expression or any idea how it got this text, but it's kind of on point. It's not bad. Let's jump back to some of the music ones. Another one for making music is called WAVTOOL. So WAVTOOL is probably one of the best strictly text to music AI. It's similar to a DAW, but with like the ChatGPT functionality built in. You can tell it what you want. You can type it in. You can say, I want snare drums that are like this. I want certain beats that are like that. I want a bass line that comes in after 8 bars. But while you do this, you can also ask it questions about music theory, and it'll give you the answers just like ChatGPT would. And as you mess around with adding things and making your song, you can continue to tweak it by saying things like, make the melody more progressive. You can even just say, make it more interesting, and it'll tweak it even more. So this is something really interesting that you can mess around with. You can keep adding tweaks and seeing what it comes back with. Do I think it's going to make the next levels or the next bangarang or some sort of creativity that we've never heard? No, it's always going to be based on previous things, which is why these tools will probably never replace a true artist, right? It cannot create new thought, but what it can do is inspire us for our own thought. So I think something like this, where you can listen to some sounds, see what it comes up with, and say, hey, that's not a bad way to do the drums. That's not a bad idea for the bass line. So that's a pretty cool one when it comes to making music. Here's another one that'll help the music making process. It's called Fake You. Fake You is deep fake text to speech. This is an AI tool
to create voices.
And so far it has hundreds and hundreds of different voices to choose from. And I'm assuming because it's just the beginning, it's constantly adding new voices, that there could be thousands or tens of thousands of different voices over time. What you can do is you can type in a word or a phrase and you can have it said in dozens, hundreds of different ways. And this tool we have found to be very useful in so many different genres that you like tech house or bass house or even techno or dubstep, right? How many times we hear these songs where a phrase comes out just before the drop?
I still can't believe it's not better.
So if you're making music that includes voices that are speaking, this is an incredible AI. However, it's not going to help you in terms of looking for a singer or a vocalist, right? If you're trying to make a trance song with some beautiful voice that sounds like Adele, this is not going to do that. But for certain genres, this is a very cool tool. On the same topic of voices, there's 11 Labs. 11 Labs can do something very similar to Fake You in terms of taking text and turning it into voice. The most interesting interesting thing about 11 Labs is the Voice Lab. The Voice Lab is a cloning AI voice tool. And yes, this is where it gets kind of creepy, and I'm sure you've seen some TikToks about this. But if you wanted to, you could start adding your voice to it, and it'll start learning your voice. I don't want to get into like ethics and morality of using other people's voices. Let's just talk about you. For you, this could be very useful, where if you're someone that constantly has to record their voice when you have an idea, if they just learn your voice and you can just type different things and hear how it would sound coming out of your mouth, that's amazingly time efficient. Will it sound perfect? No. Is it going to sound like you're recording it in a perfect studio environment or mixed perfectly? No. But again, this is great for inspiration, where if it starts to learn your voice and you're constantly using your voice in records and you want to hear what it might sound like, you saying 1,000 different things, you could do that way faster with a tool like this. And then if you come up with something that you really, really like, all right, now go record it yourself the right way. So again, huge potential with this one, really cool tool. Let's jump to another marketing one, Runway ML. Runway ML has some really awesome features. They're coming out with a text to video tool as well, but you can also do video to video. So before I took like a quick video of myself talking just like this one, just like this YouTube video, and I turned myself into claymation. I have no idea how I did that effect. We use Photoshop and we use some of the video editing tools, and there's nothing out there that can turn ourselves into claymation, but this can. So this is similar to some of the tools I talked about before, like Kaiber. You input some kind of content, like a video, and then you can edit it and add effects to it based on your preferences. So you can do really fun stuff here with music videos or teasers or content on your Instagram, where you make something, you're like, okay, it's all right, but turn it into claymation, turn it into something with all these jazzy effects. I think that there's something here. Let's talk about another one. This one my students absolutely love. It's called Midjourney. So far, when it comes to creating images from text, Midjourney seems to be the best. The quality that it comes with is amazing. Midjourney's functionality, though, is a bit different than some of the ones we've been talking about. The ones we've been talking about has these chat GPT functions where you just type directly into it, where they're almost like a program on a website. But Midjourney, you join a Discord and then you give the Discord different commands for the image that you want. I don't want to spend a full video explaining it. It's actually not that hard. It's just a little bit different than the others. But once you get used to it, the images that you can create are just incredible. And I'll put some on the screen here. The quality is really good. The download quality is really good. And your imagination can really run wild with this. So when it comes to making cover art for your songs, or maybe some ideas for social media content or for Instagram, this is a great text to image tool. Okay, so that's a lot of AI applications. I hope this was helpful. Make sure though that you subscribe, turn on that bell, because we're gonna keep adding to this list. As new things come up, as new ones get invented, as these get better, we'll keep updating you. So subscribe. At this point, you're probably sick of hearing me talk about AI helping you with your music. So if you want to hear from an actual human helping you with your music, here's a great video on music production from Zach, and he's even better than these AI, so go watch that next.